What's going on, you guys? This is TechHD coming at you with a random video, and this is the Feelworld F5 field monitor. So this is a small little affordable field monitor, and if you guys don't know what a field monitor is, and if you guys are not using one, I highly recommend using it whenever it comes to making videos, because it is very necessary and it has a cool couple of features that I think is very necessary when it comes to making videos. So real quick, with the Feelworld F5 monitor, what you get is the monitor itself. You get the L bracket, you get a micro HDMI to HDMI cable, as well as you get the little hood for when it comes to bright environments like the sun, outdoor environments, which is really cool. And of course you get the manual to tell you a little bit more about the features. So taking a look at the screen, you get a 5-inch screen that supports 1920 by 1080p, and it takes a 4K by 30 frame input and a 4K by 30 frame output, which is really nice. So when it comes to 4K cameras like a Sony a7 III, a Nikon Z6, an EOS R, you know, you could definitely use this monitor for that, to support the full input and then show you in a 1080p screen, which is very helpful. So I really like it because it's nice and sharp and it's very bright. It supports 450 nits, which is usually brighter than a camera's built-in screen like the Nikon Z6 and the Sony a7 III. So when it comes to outdoor environments, that's going to be very helpful. Not only that, but on the back, what you could do is do battery operated. So you could do the LPE6 battery from Canon, or you could do the F970 from Sony. So for me personally, I use the F970 battery from Sony, and I get these big ones, and I easily just plug it in, and that is pretty much it. I could use the button on the top as well to remove it. Very simple, but I could just easily plug it in and I am good to go, which is really nice. And the battery, honestly, the battery that I have is usually bigger than usual, and it lasts for hours. Whenever I was recording video on the Astro C40, which you guys will see that video coming out soon, as well as the BenQ monitor, same thing, you guys will see that video coming out soon. It was lasting for hours whenever I needed to make sure that my shots were nice and on par and focused correctly. Taking a look at the top, you get the 2 function buttons, which is really helpful. So for me personally, I set the F1 as focus peaking, and I set the F2 as false coloring, and then I get the left and right button, as well as you get a menu, up and down, and a power button. And then on the left side, you get the HDMI in and HDMI out. Like I said, supports 4K at 30 frames, and then you get the DC in 12 volt. So if you want to hardwire it, you could do that. As well as on the bottom, you get DC out 8.4 volts, so you could get a dummy battery and then connect it to your camera, like for example the Z6, and then power the camera through that, which is really cool. And then you get a headphone port, as well as a USB upgrade port for whenever you want to upgrade the software on this, which is really cool. And then on the right side, of course, you could connect the L bracket, and if you don't want to use the L bracket, then you could use a Phillips screwdriver to unscrew the side piece and then put it on the bottom, so you could easily just mount it on top of a camera if you don't want to use the L bracket. But honestly, the L bracket is very nice. I highly use this. I would definitely use this over just using it on the bottom. I think it's a lot more useful, and I'm gonna explain that in a second. And when it comes to durability, you know, it's a nice hard plastic. I don't expect so much like metal or anything like that. The bracket itself is actually metal, which I really like, but overall the monitor is a hard plastic, which is okay. You know, it doesn't feel very cheaply made. It still feels a little bit of good quality, which I really like. So jumping into a couple of features when it comes to a field monitor, the difference between a field monitor to a regular monitor or a TV, if you were to connect your camera to one of those, is that a field monitor provides you with all the features and even more that some of the cameras do not provide you. So one of the things that they provide you is focus peaking. So it highlights some of the stuff to make sure that the stuff is in focus. So it's like you'll highlight red or blue or green, whatever color you want it to be, to make sure that the stuff that you want it to be focus is actually focused. There's false coloring when it comes to the skin tones. You want to make sure that the skin tones are nice and accurate, which I personally use for whenever I'm recording myself. So right now I'm using a field monitor that has the false coloring option, so I want to make sure that my skin tone levels and all is very nice, similar to histogram, but it's a little bit more complicated to explain. Histogram, it also provides you with that, as well as it supports the 9-grid and zebra patterns and a whole bunch of other stuff when it comes to, which I think is very necessary when it comes to recording video. One of the other major things that I like about a field monitor is that if you have a Sony a7 III, for example, or a Nikon Z6, they don't have the flip out screen like a Canon camera or Panasonic camera would have. So in order to really do like an A shot and record myself, I will need a field monitor or to connect to something in order for me to see myself. So I would connect this over, and make sure that everything is nice and focused, that I am nice and sharp by using the zebra pattern, and to make sure that the colors of my skin is nice and accurate. That's why I will use the false coloring, which is very helpful. And then since it's 450 nits, it's nice and bright, and make sure that everything is nice and lit up correctly, that the highlights and the shadows are not too underexposed or overexposed, stuff like that. So I just want to make sure using the field monitor is very helpful, as well as when it comes to vlogging, and when it comes to, you know, using an A7 III or a Nikon Z6 for vlogging a full frame camera. Since you don't have that flip out screen, it's very hard to make sure that you're in the shot, that you're in the frame, and that you're in focus. With the field monitor, you have that option. And remember when I said that I really like the L bracket? It's because it has a hot shoe mount as well. So you're not just taking up one of the hot shoe mounts for the monitor, you also have another one. So if you want to put a light, or if you want to put a microphone, for example, when it comes to vlogging, I could do that and get really good shots, making sure that I'm in focus, that I'm in the frame, and then get good audio as well. So that's what I really like about the L bracket, and for using this for pretty much for, you know, recording myself for vlogging and stuff like that. I also like that they provide you with a little hood that just uses Velcro, so when it comes to outdoor environments, I could easily cover the field monitor to make sure that my shots is not being, like, you know, hit by a sun, and making sure that I want to make sure that my stuff is nice and focused, and that the highlights and the shadows and all that is good, not too overexposed or too underexposed. So when it comes to outdoor environments, 450 nits, I could easily view the screen with or without this. But then when it comes to the sun and like really harsh environments, this helps it a lot, and I really like that. So talking a little bit about the cons, one of the things that I don't like is that it does not come with everything needed right out of the box. So the F5 does not come with some of the cables needed. So for example, my Nikon Z6 takes a mini HDMI, whereas it comes with a micro HDMI, so I have to get a dongle in order to do that. That is separate, as well as it does not come with a little carrying case. So if you want to travel with it, take it with you, you cannot do that. That's when you have to get into the F5 Master series, which I really don't like. And then one of the other things is that in getting into the menu system is a little bit tedious. One, you have to get used to the buttons. I would like it to be touchscreen, but honestly for the price, I don't expect it to be. But that's just something that I wanted to really talk about, is you have to get used to the buttons. And one of the other things is that if I want to flip around the field monitor, so if I want to record myself, it doesn't automatically flip the screen, so I have to get into the menu system and actually flip the screen, which I don't like, because it's kind of like I have to dig into the menu system to get to be able to flip that screen, which I don't like personally. And one of the other things is that there's only 2 function buttons. I would like there to be a third one, so when it comes to setting the third one to be flipping the screen, I would honestly love that. I have the first one as focus peaking, which I think is very necessary. That's why I have it on and off. And then F2 for false coloring, I have that on and off as well, which I think is very necessary as well. And F3, I would have used it to be flipping the screen whenever I just want to record myself, for example, very easily. Just press a button and then do it like that, but I have to get into the menu system, unfortunately. And another thing is that it does not come with like the does not come with the cable if you want to hardwire it instead of using the batteries, and it doesn't at least come with 1 battery. So that's another thing. You have to buy your battery separate, you have to get the cable if you want it to be wired in, and you have to get a carrying case yourself if you want to travel with this. And that's some stuff that the F5 Master series that comes with. I wish that it came standard with the F5. Like, I don't want to go to the F5 Master in order to get those type of things. So that's some of the things that this is missing that I wish it really had. But honestly, for the price, 150 bucks, I think is very necessary. You don't have to go and get an Animus Ninja 5 or a Shinobi field monitor, spend 600 to 800 bucks. Honestly, 150 just to get started is very, I think is very necessary. It comes with all the features. Like, most of the cameras does not have false coloring, which I think is very necessary. So that's one of the things that this has. And so whenever you're doing some shots with a Ronin S, for example, trying to struggle with using the screen on the camera, you know, you can use the field monitor and make sure that your shots are nice and focused and that everything is good. So there you guys have it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This is the Feelworld F5 monitor. I honestly love it. I'll have links down in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. As always, it's TechHD. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!